Let's do the front brakes on the 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit. We're jacking the car in the air, so remember to use safety jacks if you're doing anything like this. We got to get this wheel off. It's a little stubborn because it's been on for a really long time. So what do? Bam with the dead blow hammer. It's free. Let's pull this off so that we can get access to our stuff. Now these are what you call solid disc. They're not super efficient, but they work. The car is light, but I just wanted to put these vented ones on instead because they dissipate heat. That makes braking better. So these pads are not super fancy, they're organic, and they're gonna work. Caliper needs to come off, and I cleaned some things up here. I like to try to clean up a little bit. I mean, it's an old car, but just the cleaner your stuff is, the better when you're trying to get this stuff done. This is a slide pin. It's a little gunked up. We're gonna clean and sand that so that it performs like it should. Now, let's jump back a few steps. There's a retaining screw here. It needs to come out, but the head's messed up. It's a little difficult, so I'm trying to heat this up. And what happens is the heat expands the metal, it burns up the rust that's in there. It makes it easier to come out, right? Except that it didn't. It did not work. I just made the hole even worse and it wasn't coming out. So I got a screw extractor from the store. It's my first time using this tool, but it worked great. And now that that's out, we can go back to pulling off the caliper. You shouldn't let it fall like that. That hose is important, so you kind of sit this where it's not going to be hanging the weight on that hose. Here's our pads. Pull all that one off. There's a lot of meat on the pad, but that's not really why I'm changing it. I'll explain that in a minute. Now we get this disc out of our way with a dead blow hammer. Special guest, dead blow hammer, ladies and gentlemen. Pull the disc out of the way and you can see it's just a little dirty under there. We'll try to clean this up. Spray things while we're in here. It makes it look nice. Feels like you did more. We've got this high temperature grease that we're going to spread around the face where the disc is going to go. And we'll use that same grease on the pins that I cleaned up a bit. So here's our old thick pad. Here's that thinner new pad. It just makes space so that it can fit in there. That's why it's thin. We put on the high temperature grease so that they slide easy along their races. We'll put our disc in the place where it's supposed to go. And then we're going to slide the other pad there. And now we can put our caliper on and tighten that back up. All in all, it's not a really hard process. You can do this to your car if it's out of warranty. I skipped a few steps, but there's plenty of people on the internet who explain this more easily. Here's the finished product with the little screw in it. I got new ones. And here's the other side. I did both this time. There's more to come. Please keep watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. There's other cool stuff coming. And don't forget my catchphrase.